Hello. Goodbye.
What do you think about laundromats?
I think they're weird.
I think you're weird.
I think you're mean.
I think you're handsome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
And goodbye. And goodbye for all.
What's up, guys? It's Jordan from LaundromatResource.com and the Laundromat Resource Podcast. I am muy excited that you are here today because today we're going to talk about mindset. And as a laundromat owner, you have the ability to walk down one of two different paths, neither of which are right or wrong, but there are two different mindsets that you can have with regards to owning laundromats, and they will take you down different paths. So I thought it would be important today to just go over what are these two mindsets and what paths do they lead down. So I'm going to talk about a few advantages and a few disadvantages of each one and let you decide which route you want to go. So let's talk about the first one. The first one is this. You have the ability to own a laundromat as an owner-operator. And basically what that means is you work in your laundromat. You are there, you're involved in the day-to-day activities. Maybe you're doing the cleaning or maybe you're just there kind of overseeing. But either way, you're involved in the day-to-day activities as an owner-operator. And there are good things about that, and there are some disadvantages of that too. So let's talk about a few of the main advantages first, because the advantages are good advantages. The first one is this: you have control over your business. When you're there day to day, when you're the one running your business and you're calling all the shots, the big and small, you have a lot more control over your business than you would otherwise. And that's a good thing. It's a really good thing to have control over your assets. And so that's a huge advantage of being an owner-operator. The second main advantage of being an owner-operator is that your returns can be higher. If you're not paying a management company to run your laundromat, if you're not paying maybe some, excuse me, if you're not paying maybe someone to clean your laundromat, and maybe you're doing it, or maybe you're paying someone part-time and not full-time, then you get to pocket whatever money you're not spending on your business. So that is also a higher ROI is a huge advantage, and a reason probably why most owner-operators have that mindset and decided to own their laundromat in that way. Another huge advantage that I think of being an owner-operator maybe flies under the radar a little bit, but I do think it's a really big advantage, and it's this. When you're an owner-operator, you're there on a day-to-day basis and you're involved, you get to know the community, the people who are coming into your laundromat to do laundry, maybe your neighbors in the shopping center that you're in, who own other stores, but you are involved and you are working in your business and people see that. And I think that customers really appreciate seeing the owner there and working hard and investing in the business and investing in relationships and working to make the laundromat better and working to make the community better. And I think customers really do appreciate that. And that's a big deal. But also I think that there's just something to be said for building relationships in the community that you're doing business. And I think that's a massive advantage of being an owner-operator. So those are a few advantages, and I think that they're very powerful advantages. But there are some disadvantages also. And the first one has to do with your return on time invested. And you may or may not have heard of that term before. I picked it up off another podcast, but basically your return on time is this. How much are you making per hour that you are working? And when you're an owner-operator, you're working a lot of hours. So however much you're making, it's less per hour because you're working more in it. It might be a higher overall number, but it's probably going to be less per hour than if you choose to run your laundromat and have a different mindset about how to own a laundromat. So your return on time invested is lower because you're spending a lot of time in your business. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If that's what you want to do and you want your job to be to run your laundromat, then that's awesome, and don't worry about return on time. But if you're looking to scale your wealth up, if you're looking to make an investment, if you have maybe a job already or a career already that pays you more than you could make by sitting in your laundromat and cleaning up, then your return on time is probably not going to be as high as you would hope for it to be. Another disadvantage is the opportunity cost. If you're sitting in your laundromat all day working on your business, what opportunities are passing you by? Maybe there's another laundromat that goes up for sale not too far away and you miss that. Or maybe you can earn more money in your career than you could sitting in a laundromat. And so that's an opportunity cost. So even if you earn a lesser dollar amount from your laundromat by not being an owner-operator, by having someone else do it, or having to pay a management company to do it, even if you're pocketing a little bit less, if you're making more doing something else, for example, working another job or looking for more deals that can bring more money in, then that's an opportunity cost that you just need to factor in. The third main disadvantage of being an owner-operator is that it's really difficult to scale that. You can only sit in probably one laundromat at a time. Maybe you could do two and split your time and hire someone part-time. But once you get past one or two, it's really difficult to do as an owner-operator and operating under that mindset. So that's not necessarily a bad thing if that's not what you want to do. If your goal is not to scale, if your goal is not to build up a bigger business and you just kind of want to have one and it brings in enough money that you can retire off of, or it brings in enough money that you can supplement, schooling for your kids or whatever it is you need the money for. If it's bringing in enough money, then hey, then that's your goal, right? So that's why it's important to define your goals, and that's why we're talking about this a little bit, so you can kind of understand some of the advantages and disadvantages. So that's the first path that you can go down, is being an owner-operator. That's that certain kind of mindset where you are running the business. You're working in the business. The second mindset is a little bit different, but it has really big implications. And the second mindset is more of an investor mindset. And that doesn't mean that you don't work in your business at all, but it does mean that you're not spending the bulk of your time in the laundromat. You're doing other things. Maybe you're working another job. Maybe you're looking for more laundromat deals. Maybe you have a weird laundromat podcast and blog for some reason. You could be doing other things while your laundromat is operating. So there are some really big advantages to doing that, as you can imagine. So the first one is this. Let's go right back to return on time invested. That skyrockets when you're only spending 5 to 10 hours a week on your laundromat business, and you're bringing in a certain amount of money. Then your return on time goes way up as compared to if you're sitting in that laundromat for 40 plus hours a week. So that's a huge advantage right there. So if you have the ability to earn money that's greater than what you could earn by sitting in the laundromat, or in addition to the money that you're earning on the side at your laundromat, or having a property or a laundromat management business run it, then you are increasing your income, obviously, and you're increasing your wealth. Or the other option is maybe you don't want to work on the side and you don't want to sit in a laundromat, and the laundromat can just kind of support you doing whatever it is that you love and you want to do with whoever it is that you love and you want to spend your time with, and the laundromat can fund that. So that is a huge advantage of having this mindset of this laundromat is an investment. And your dollars per hour go way up. Like I mentioned, the time that you spend is much lower. And even if the dollar amount is a little bit lower than it would be if you were there all the time, your return on time is still much higher. Another advantage is that you can leverage other people this way. And whether that is leveraging maybe a partner that you partner with who's doing more of the operations day to day, and overseeing your business, or whether that is just hiring someone to do the cleaning every day so that you're not in there every day mopping floors, or if that's hiring a professional laundromat management business to take care of it. That's a huge advantage, that you can leverage other people. And again, what that does is it frees up time. Your return on time goes up even more. And when you free up time, it frees you up to do the things that you want to do with your life. Maybe you're in that first mindset of being an owner-operator because what you want to do with your life is run a laundromat. And that's awesome. We're going to show you how to do that. And we're hopefully teaching you everything you need to know to be able to do that successfully. But maybe you want to do other things too. And this is a great mindset to have for you if you are wanting to do other things with your life besides just running a laundromat. So that's a huge advantage. And third, this model of having a laundromat that is an investment primarily and not your job, this is a scalable model. You can make that expand that out, and as long as you're leveraging people, you're leveraging money, and you're leveraging time, then you can scale that out. You can own more than 2, 3, 4, 5 laundromats, all of them bringing you cash flow and all of them requiring very little time from you. So your return on time only increases as you scale your business up. And that is a massive advantage to having an investor mindset when it comes to laundromat ownership. However, there are some downsides also. And the first one is your returns on your money, on your investment, probably will be a little bit lower. If you're paying a management company or you are paying other people to leverage them so that you can get some of your time back, it's going to cost a little bit more than if you were doing the things yourself. And so your return on investment might go down a little bit. Fortunately, the laundromat business has the margin in there to be able to absorb some of that and still return high yields. So that's not horrible news. Another one that might be hard for some people, this might be hard for you. If you're someone who likes to have control, if you're someone who likes to be calling all of the shots, you like to be involved in all the details, in order to have this investor mindset, you got to learn to let go of a little bit of that, because you have to give some of that control up to other people so that you can leverage them, their knowledge, their insights, their ability, their time, their experience in order to get your time back. You got to give up a little bit of control. And that's hard for some people, and I get that. That's probably the main barrier to having this investor mindset is I want to do it myself. I can save some money and I can do it myself. And that's not a bad thing, but you're starting to merge over into the owner-operator mindset. So it just depends on what it is you want to do. All right. Another disadvantage is that you're going to have to manage your business. It doesn't have to be a ton of time invested, but even if you hire a professional management company to manage your laundromat for you, there is still going to be some managing of that management company to make sure they're taking care of you, taking care of your laundromat, making sure that your laundromat is in good shape. and in good condition. If you hire somebody to come in and clean, you're going to have to manage them. So there is some degree of management that's going to be involved. And it will never be a truly passive investment unless you decide that you want to lend somebody the money and basically become the bank to an owner of a laundromat. It's never completely passive, but the time that is required for you to run a laundromat can drastically vary if you want to be an owner-operator and have that mindset, be hands-on, be in control. Then your time is going to be high, but your returns will be a little bit higher, and you might have a little bit higher satisfaction too. I don't know. But that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is that of an investor, where you can shrink your time down to nearly nothing and reap the benefits of that. Not only a high return on investment, but also a high return on your time invested. That way you can spend your money and your time doing the things that you love to do with the people that you love. So the choice is up to you. There's no right or wrong. And if you would like some help thinking through, hey, which of these scenarios is best for me, or you have other questions related to laundromats, please go to laundromatresource.com or our Facebook page, facebook.com/laundromatresource, and sign up for a free 15-minute coaching call with me. I'll help you work through all the questions that you have that we can get through in 15 minutes and get you started on the road to financial freedom. I would love, if you're finding any kind of value in this, if you're learning anything about how to buy or run a laundromat that you find is valuable, if you're getting information that's helping you decide whether or not the laundromat industry is valuable for you, I would love it if you would just subscribe to this podcast, or if you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit that bell. That way you don't miss out on any episodes. We're going to go through in depth. We're continuing to do this. Everything you need to know to find, to analyze, to buy, and to run a laundromat. And I wouldn't want you to miss out. So go sign up for a coaching call, subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel, and give us a like. I would love that too. And if you have any other questions, also feel free to leave a comment down below, and we'll get to all those. I would love to answer your questions on here, on this podcast, and on YouTube. So please leave a question or comment below, and I would love some feedback. Thank you guys. Looking forward to this journey towards financial freedom with you. Again, this is Jordan from laundromatresource.com and the Laundromat Resource Podcast, and I will see you again next episode. What do you think about laundromats?
You can. You can dry clothes.
What's your favorite parts of laundromats?
The gumball machines and stuff.
Ooh, I love gumball machines. Thank you very much for your input on the podcast.
Bye!